Hello and welcome back to another update from the Commonwealth Games. So today I was primarily based around Wolverhampton for the men's and women's time trial. To start the day off, I walked into Wolverhampton city centre from where I'm staying with my family just to see how the route was being set up. And how the barriers were being placed, and to go and speak to some local businesses that had already opened at that point of the day. So I was heading to the fan sites in Market Square. So there was another official fan site, a ticketed site at West Park, where the women's and men's cyclists were starting, but those tickets had already sold out. So I was going to be locating myself um, at Market Square for some point, and then going to see the cyclists at different points around Wolverhampton. So once I headed to Market Square, I had a sort of wander around. They had a screen set up. They had a few food and drink vendors around there. They had some introduction to cycling for challenges for kids, which was really good to see. And then I headed closer to West Park, so I was situated around about 500 meters from the start of the time trial for the women's race. Um, and the atmosphere and certainly the people there was building. It was quite quiet for the start of the women's race, but over the course of the day, it certainly got busier. Not only it was probably busier outside of the official fan zone, West Park, and it was certainly busier out on the route as well. So places like Himley, Sedgley, and Dudley seem to be really busy with lots of people out in and around the houses and pubs as well. So that was really great to see on the TV. So I started there for the women's start of the time trial, and then I moved and located myself at Market Square to see the remainder of the race. So once the first time trial had finished, there were some announcements from the Mayor of Wolverhampton, and some other conversations with some other people who had come along to watch the time trial at Market Square, because there was a bit of a gap between the women's race finish, the medal ceremony, and the men's race starting. Again, I went back to my original points for the start of the men's race, so about 500 meters from the finish again, just to see the starts of the some of the cyclists from all different parts of the world, right through to the professional cyclists from Wave One and Wave Two. Um, so it was really good to see them in action again. There was lots of cheering, and like I said, the atmosphere was really building, and there was a lot more people out and about for certainly for the men's time trial in Wolverhampton. Once the men's time trial had started, I headed back to the Market Square to watch the remainder of the race and see the athletes come through. So that was good to see as well. Again, it was a really close race. Rowan Dennis from Australia won in the end. Yeah, really great race, and it seemed like quite a difficult course as well. So not the type of course you would normally see at a Grand Tour time trial, or another major race. Um, Yep. So once the races were finished, they had the medal ceremony again, and then they had some closing music acts at the festival site at Market Square. So once those music acts had finished, they started closing down the festival site, and I went back along the route to go and speak to some other businesses to see how they had fared during the course of the day, what's happened to trade for them, have the regular customers come in. And I spoke to a range of different businesses, from food and drink uh, traders to shops, and to some other businesses that were located right across Penrose. But I'm also going to be going back to speak to some of the other smaller businesses that were there as well, to get their perspectives on having the time trial come through Wolverhampton and the surrounding areas. So tomorrow I'm going to be going back into Birmingham. I'm going to be going to the NEC to see the netball, and I'm going to be situated outside there the fan site again, collecting data from spectators that come along to watch some of the knockout matches at the in the netball, and hopefully you'll have another update for me later on this week in terms of what I've been up to, who I've been speaking to, and how I've found the latest events, the Commonwealth Games. So I look forward to speaking to you then.